morning, VBHS. We hope you had a great week and are having a fantastic Friday so far. Here's your episode 125 of PPN. First up for VBHS News.
Congratulations to the VBHS band for tying a school record this weekend. 68 band members qualified for all conference.
41 of those band members also qualified for state in February.
Congrats to all!
Anyone who is interested in joining the Van Buren track shooting team can receive a sign-up sheet in the front office. Please return the forms back to the office once signed up.
The deadline to sign up is January 27th.
Performing arts due at noon today, January 13th.
Visual arts due at noon on January 20th.
Creative writing due at noon on January 27th.
Film due at noon on February 3rd.
Fashion design due at noon on February 10th.
Last week we celebrated the retirement of staff member Victor Pinkerton. He served for Van Buren School District for 38 and a half years.
That's it for your VBHS News. Now on to sports.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Drew, and here are last week's sports.
Wrestling traveled to Mountain Home on Tuesday, and they also traveled to Gravette for a tournament on Friday and Saturday.
The Pointer bowling team took on Hackett Thursday at Midland Bowl.
The conference season began for Pointer basketball. They traveled to Greenbrier on Friday.
Now on to this week's sports with Sparky and J-Caz.
Guess who's back? Tuesday, the Pointers took on the Greenwood Bulldogs in the conference home opener. Tonight, they take the long trip up to Mountain Home to face the Bombers.
Wrestling went to Little Rock Tuesday to play Little Rock Central and Maumelle. They also have a tournament this Saturday in Tuttle, Oklahoma. Now on to next week's sports with Andrew and Meathan.
Tuesday, the bowling team faces Clarksville at Midland Bowl.
After a long-waited semester, let's get the ball rolling. Also Tuesday, the wrestling team takes on Sylvan Hills and BB at Sylvan Hills.
You'll shoot your eye out. Tuesday, the basketball team plays Alma's team of sophomores at home.
Thursday, the bowling team has a match against Northside at Midland Bowl.
They're right up our alley. Also Thursday, the wrestling team goes up against Greenwood and Russellville at home.
Friday, the girls wrestling team has a tournament in Conway.
Also Friday, the basketball team takes the long trip up to Harrison to play.
Saturday, the boys wrestling team has a tournament in Conway.
VBHS, it's time for your weekend weather. Today's supposed to be a little cooler than the beginning of the week, with a high of 50 and clear skies.
Tomorrow will be slightly warmer with some cloud coverage throughout the day. The highs are in the 50s and the lows in the 30s.
Sunday will warm up even more with clouds rolling in during the day and chances of thunderstorms in the evening.
That's all from us. Now on to world news.
The newly elected 118th Congress convened for the first time last week. This time around, the process is going, well, historically bad. GOP leader Rep. Kevin McCarthy failed to win his bid to become the Speaker of the House last week, falling short of the 218 votes needed to secure the position in 3 voting rounds. It's actually an extremely rare event. It's only happened 14 times in U.S. history, with the most recent time, before now, being 100 years ago, and the 13 other instances occurring before the Civil War. So why does it matter? No business can be done until the position is filled.
President Biden made his first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border while in office last week, as he toughens up the restrictions on the record number of asylum seekers coming into the country.
Biden has been criticized by Republicans for not doing enough to secure the border, while he's attacked opponents for not passing his own immigration proposal.
After his visit to the border in El Paso, Texas, Biden left for Mexico City, where he'll attend a summit with the leaders of Mexico and Canada.
Meanwhile, Mexico arrested son of drug lord El Chapo, who is himself allegedly one of the top traffickers of deadly opioid fentanyl.
Storms keep slamming California.
This past week, after a slew of winter storms drenched the state, causing at least 12 deaths, widespread power outages, and flooding.
As of Monday, about 34 million Californians, about 10% of the U.S. populations, were under a flood watch, according to CNN.
An update on Ukraine. Ukraine targets Russian soldiers by pinpointing their phone signals despite the deadly results. Russian troops keep defying a ban on using cell phones.
Also, Ukrainian and international investigators found widespread evidence of sexual violence by Russian troops. More on the story is posted in the link below.
Here are some headlines across the globe.
In the Philippines, flooding and landslides have killed at least 51 people. Next, Denmark had 0 bank robberies this year. Nordic nation has been declining steadily over the last 20 years. There was only reported 1 in 2021, while in the U.S. reported 1,724.
Next on our list was Benedict XVI. He was the first pope to reside in nearly 6 centuries, and he was buried last week after a funeral at the Vatican, presided by Pope Francis.
Next, Iran hanged 2 men, a 22-year-old karate champion and a 39-year-old poultry worker who participated in protest. At least 13 people have been sentenced to death.
And last but not least, in the theater world, it's time to say farewell to Stomp. Since it arrived in the East Village in 1994, Stomp, the wordless percussion spectacle of twirling, tapping, sweeping, and banging, has been the mainstay of New York culture. After nearly 3 decades, this percussion is closing for good.
Now on to pop culture with Carson and Eric.
You see my football songs?
Yeah, no.
Make sure that you can't see them.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pop Culture. This is Eric.
I'm Carson.
First up, the Tate brothers have been arrested for allegedly being involved in money laundering and human trafficking.
Here's what happened. Yeah, they tweeted Greta Thunberg, like the climate activist who's a young teenager. That's not the right thing. And she tweeted back, and it made him mad enough that he responded with a video, and they found like the pizza in the background was from the specific pizza place in Romania, and so that's how they tracked him, and they arrested him in his house for tweeting back to a teenager. So
Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion.
Tory Lanez was found guilty of shooting her, which, yeah, we already knew he shot her, but is that what he's doing? Drake was arrested for public nudity in Sweden. Last thing, an 88-year-old man had a shell from World War I stuck in his butthole.
They had to call the bomb squad.
Very freaky.
Evacuated the whole hospital for this old fella.
Oh.
She's kicking her feet like a toddler.
Was that funny was on? Bro's 88. Like, what is... Oh my god. Like, what are you doing?
How did it get in there?
That's a great question.
Has it been in there since World War II?
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Shout out Lil Wayne. It was his birthday 3 months ago.
Woo! Happy birthday, Wayne.
That is it for us this week.
Don't forget to be sending us pictures and videos for your life in our Instagram.
At VBHS Pointer Pack News. We'll see you next week. Till then, wear your seatbelts, drink some water, and tell someone you love them.
Thank God the week is done. I feel like a zombie gone back to life. Back to life. Hands up. Yeah, suddenly we all got our hands up. No control of my body.